Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 488 of the DrunkNerds podcast. And as always, I'm Tyler. And joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey, yo, man. I am doing pretty freaking good right now. I mean, after the long work week, after being back from vacation, I'll tell you what, I played a little bit of Mario Golf. I didn't play much of anything else this week. But at the same point, man, it's like I am excited for the Nintendo announcements in terms of release dates this past week. And
Mm.
I'm definitely looking forward to playing them at some point in time. But other than that, man, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Every single one of my beers is foaming over, Gables, and I'm not happy about it. I don't know why they're all doing it. I opened up the one before the show, it started doing it. I opened up the one during the show, it started doing it. I opened up the other one to see if it did too. I don't know why it's doing it. I'm not happy about it, though. Not happy about it. So I'm going to put those right here. Now my hand's all sticky and my floor is a little wet. I don't like that at all. But I'm doing okay. I was telling you before the show, a little hungover today. So I'm drinking. It's helping a little bit, actually. With Justin got former host of this podcast for years. My best friend since I was like 7 years old. He got married yesterday, so that was pretty awesome. A lot of fun, very stressful. Nowhere near as stressful, obviously, for them, but everything came together, worked out great. It was a beautiful day. Uh, his bride Ashley, stunning. Justin, he looked like Justin, unfortunately. No, he was good though. But no, it was a good time. Then there was an open bar, and I one of a good friends of mine, Will, his wife Megan, she was a champ. She came in. She was the ringer. She came in with the Mio and the Crystal Light, the little things you squirt into your water to make them like flavorful. And she's like, Tyler, we're drinking vodka waters all night because we're gonna stay hydrated. It's gonna help with the hangovers, and also it's really good. I'm like, okay. And I didn't know what Mio. I know of Mio. I didn't know what it was. I was telling Gills for the show. I drank like 15 of these fuckers, and not including all the air shit. I probably had close to 20 drinks during this open bar. So I hopefully, Justin, if you get charged per drink, I'm sorry. But I'll give you some money. 'Cause I just thought about that. I'm like, I don't know if it was a set cost. But yeah. Anyways, so I drank like a bunch of those. We all we were drinking like the bar was closed. Like the free part, you can still pay. After from like we had the room till like 11:30, but it was free until 10. So like at like 9:50, Megan looks at me. She's like, Tyler, I need you to go up there and get 6 more vodka waters. I'm like, why? She's like, we got 10 more minutes. I'm like, I'll be right back. So we fucking just loaded up on fucking vodka. Anyways, I didn't realize Mio had had energy in it. It's like basically like an energy drink. Because it was like 11 o'clock, and we're all getting ready to leave. And I looked at Megan. I'm like, Megan, I'm very drunk, but I'm drunk. I'm at that like hyper awareness of the fact I'm drunk. And also, I feel like I can run a marathon right now. She's like, well, we've been drinking Mio all night. I'm like, what's okay. She's like, and she can show me the little tiny bottle, and it's just full of B6 and B12, all the good vitamins that you want. So I probably had enough caffeine to sustain a elephant for a month yesterday, on top of the pot of coffee I had in the morning and the Starbucks I had in the afternoon. So it was, yeah, I was very drunk and very worried. I did not sleep great last night. Then I slept like a baby. I took a very long nap today. But yeah, no, I'm doing great though. I'm sorry for the ramble. But doing good. I'm feeling better today. It took me till like 4:30 today before I text Justin texts the group, all of us, all the groomsmen and ushers and stuff. Like saying thank you and hope you guys had a good time. I'm like, tell them like, I had a great, thank you for inviting me. I had a great time. It was my honor. I'm gonna go back to bed now because I feel like a gang of little people just beat the shit out of me. So that's the only thing I could think of how to describe how I felt. It was just a gang of like the Lollipop Guild just showed up and just beat the fucking shit out of me last night. And that's the only way to describe it. But no, I feel better now. Vodka water though, man, I think it's gonna be my thing now, Gables. Because like
Vodka water.
just because it's a shot of vodka, then you fill up the glass for like 6 ounces of water, and then like a little squirt of Mio, and I'll just do Crystal Light or something. But my God, it was fantastic. But do not drink the Crystal Light squirty squirt thing directly into your mouth, because I did that a lot. It was the most sour thing. I was like eating like a bag of warheads at once. But yeah, no, it was a great time. I had a good time. I think everybody did. Guys, great memories, better people. So enjoyed it because we're only doing that once. So well, at least with Justin. So I think most of my friends are getting pretty much married at this point. So yeah, that was good times. But anyways, Gables,
Yes.
this is the Drunk Nerds podcast where every week we get together and we talk about video games, and then usually drink a couple beers. If you guys are liking this, you're still around, thank you. But also, please like, follow, subscribe, download wherever pods are cast, videos, Facebook, Twitter, all those places. Please look for us there. Look up Drunk-Nerds, Drunk Nerds podcast, Drunk Nerds, whatever. Actually, if you just go in, if I do it correctly, if you look in the show notes, there should be a link tree in there, and you click on that, and it'll have a link to everything that we are on. Please go there and just like, follow, subscribe to us, all those places. I got accepted so that we can start putting the video version of the podcast on Spotify as well. So I'm going to try that out. So if everything works out on the Spotify app, you should be able to watch a video version of that as well. Typically the video version only goes on YouTube, and then the audio obviously goes everywhere else. So we're going to try that out. Hopefully that works out for us. But anyways, we're here talking about video games, Gable. So let's do that. So kind of start off with some. It's going to be kind of a Nintendo heavy here to begin with. But we had some news of possibly Game Boy Advance games coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
So some people here, Gables, you might understand this better than I do, because I don't really understand. I've been trying to figure it out a little bit, like the emulator world. But a couple people have been like talking about they've like seen some like apparently like they're testing out this like GBA games on the Switch.
Right.
So I guess like is like so it sounds like the emulator is like they found it on the Switch, or at least like
Yes.
someone is that, so that's okay. I want to make sure I understand that. So, and then people are freaking out about like the transfer pack thing from the 64 where you're able to like play Game Boy games on there. And there's been talks about like, well, the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, because the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color are two different consoles. No disagreement here. Good. I was worried. I just want to point that out because I hate when Nintendo combines those together because they're two fucking different things. Anyways, basically all three of those consoles run on like the same emulators typically. So if you're gonna do one, why not do all of them? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, Gables, you're definitely the more Nintendo guy than me. I'm kind of curious, like, what's your thought and mindset, excited level for this? What are you expecting out of this potentially?
All right, so to put things in perspective, we learned the better part of this week in regards to the supposed like all these emulators and stuff like that were on the Switch in terms of like from data miners going through with initial Switch firmware stuff like that. I think we're over the past week or so where they found out, hey, there's actually Game Boy and Game Boy Advance emulators from Nintendo that are on the Switch in and of itself, this infrastructure. And so there were images going around places like Twitter and like online stuff like that of people actually testing out ROMs and stuff on the Switch itself. And sure enough, the emulators were running these games pretty well, mind you.
Oh, good.
So I am fairly excited at the thought of playing Game Boy and most importantly of all, Game Boy Advance games on the Switch online service at some point. I could potentially see maybe having like Game Boy as like on as part of like say the basic membership and
I've
stuff,
heard
like
some
the
people
original
like
Game Boy.
not so much rumor it, but like talk about like Game Boy, Game Boy Color go on the base model, the $20 a year one, then
Yeah.
Advance be on the $50. I've heard a lot of people talk about that as well. So
Well, yeah, that makes a hell of a lot of sense considering that hey, you want more people to go not only have a lot of good stuff on the base service, but also have like another incentive of getting the expansion stuff, adding in the whole Game Boy Advance stuff. And what's kind of crazy about that, after this initial type of like leaking of these emulators running on the Switch and these various games being like gone through, supposedly there was a master list thing for the Nintendo Switch Online that leaked as well in regards to
look that up.
the supposed, this is like something from like 2019, right? Like an image that went around stuff, supposed games. This is like a master list thing for like NES games, and among those were like The kind of the usual suspects in terms of third party stuff. So you'd had like the Mega Man games, you had like Castlevania here and there and stuff, and there were mostly games that you could already get in terms of their in terms of online services, say like a PSN or an Xbox Live Arcade or fucking the Nintendo's eShop and stuff, to where there has been collection stuff that you can buy for dirt cheap, but it was just a confirmation of them having so much more in regards to what they can put on that service and more than likely what they will put on that service.
Yeah. So I'm kind
But
of. It looks like I think I
yeah.
found the list that you're talking about here. Like these are the games that have been tested out. Apparently, they got like I'm not gonna go through all of them. Like Castlevania,
Yep.
Arrow of Sorrow, Circle of the Moon, Fire Emblem Sacred Stones, F Zero Maximum Velocity, Golden
Yep.
Sun 1 and 2, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, ugh, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, Mario Golf Advance Tour, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Mario Party Advance, Mario Tennis, Mega Man Battle Network 5 and 2, Metroid Fusion, Metroid
So
Zero
what it sounds like
Mission.
is so what it basically sounds like from what you're reading off here is pretty much like the top 50 or possibly even the top
Yeah.
60 like Game Boy Advance games on that system in general
Yeah, what's weird
that they
though,
could potentially do.
so the Pokemon games that have been tried on this one, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon
Yeah.
and Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire.
Hmm.
Those are the only
Okay.
two, and then Zelda Minish Cap, which is actually a fantastic game. Um,
Interesting. No Fire Red or Leaf Green on it,
yeah, I don't have that.
but
It's
still.
Nintendo. They're fucking super weird about that shit. Um,
Yeah, that's true. You've already had remakes of the Kanto stuff already out on the Switch itself.
yeah.
But
Um,
it's fairly exciting, Tyler. I mean,
mhm.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I feel like by the end of this year, we'll definitely have Game Boy on the whole Nintendo Switch Online stuff, and then Game Boy Advance follow suit. I mean, hell, I'd be excited because I hadn't done a traditional playthrough of a lot of those games, and I kid you not, like around 15 years.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think it'd be definitely exciting. More adding more things. Like unless I don't think they're gonna do a different model or a different, more expensive thing. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah,
Well, I guess it's Nintendo. Actually, I could see them doing that, but I don't think it's likely. Um, I didn't like.
unless,
Go ahead.
like I was saying, they couldn't get away with another type of tier of service unless they offer downloadable, not downloadable, but like streamable GameCube games or some of that sort. And then
Yeah,
on top of that, whatever else type of
yeah.
shit.
I mean, if they, I don't think they. I like I said, there's like 5% chance I think of this happening, but like maybe they do like a
Right.
$30 tier where they put the Game Boy game ones in there. But if you already have the
Yeah.
expansion pass, whatever it's called, it's already in there. But like there's a 20, a 30, and a 50 or whatever. But anyways, um, I think this is pretty cool. I mean, obviously adding more to these services that you have, um, is good. You know, we keep talking about. We just had a talk about a month ago about what 64 games are left, and it's like there's
Not a
like
lot.
not there's maybe like I mean there's like 6 or 7 like more pretty good ones you can put on there, but like the best ones are already on there. You're running out of games. Like they just put
Most of it's like rareware stuff you could possibly add on to
yeah
that
like we
stuff.
talk about like GoldenEye, Pokemon Snap, Stadium,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shit like that. Maybe some like Cruising USA stuff like that. But like the top tier shit is mostly gone or is mostly already on there. Um, So and then like they just added like 3 more games for the Sega Genesis on there as well. And I
Yes.
went. I mean, they're not. I mean, Sonic Spinballs on there, but I was like, we're like, the big games are on there for the Sega Genesis pretty much. Like the top,
I will say,
the ones that people that the majority of people want to play are on there. Like there's definitely like some gems that hardcores can find, but like I think for like the mass audience, like those ones are probably out. Um, so like yeah, you definitely gotta do something to keep spicing up, and they've been doing a good job. Like
yeah.
with the they've been adding DLC. Like they just put the Octo expansion from Splatoon 2 is on there now. For after when they put the release day out, which we'll talk about later for Splatoon 3, they added that to it. So like they're adding some of the DLC they've put out like previously onto it. I can see that being a continuing trend to kind of add to this. Like they already have the Mario Kart
It's an
DLC.
excellent idea.
Yeah, I mean, like they're like, when they first announced this thing with the 64, like $50 a year for like this sucks. But they're doing good. I'll give them. I mean, I'm very harsh on Nintendo. Because I always feel like, they just do just make the easy things look way more difficult than they need to be, and they still do.
They'll do, yeah.
But like I'm gonna give a props in this one where they're doing a good job of adding value to this thing as we're going. And I was actually talking to Justin about it yesterday. We're just kind of bullshitting, while we're getting ready, and we kind of mentioned, he asked me like, when did the expansion pack start? I'm like, I think it was like October, November. I'm like, oh, that'd be a good time for them to. That'd be a perfect time for them to do that, like, because you can only do a year of expansion pass. There's no monthly, so right when that year is up, then they add this stuff to it, and that's kind of what they did a few years ago when they added the NES games. When they first did the NSO, there was only NES games, and then it's launched in September, and then the following September they added Super Nintendo games. So everybody that paid for a year, then they just re-upped again because they added a bunch of stuff. So like I could see this becoming. Continue to add value throughout the year, but then do like a big thing when people are about to that 1 year membership is up, and they're like trying to think, well, is it worth upgrading to? Be a good way to get those people to re-up for another year, especially if you're going to continue making this only an annual option. But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for it. It's like I've been like jonesing, I've been trying to find like 2DS, like a reasonable price, because like I want to play my Pokemon trading card game from the Game Boy. That's like one of my all-time favorite games. I beat it on 3DS a while back. I'm like, man, I just want to kind of go back and play it again. Anyways, I could probably just do a ROM. It's be a lot fucking cheaper. But I don't know. But if, I just really hope that like they do this, and they don't be fucking weird about it. Like I was just like pointing out, like the two Pokemon games they've tested apparently are Mystery Dungeon and Pokemon Pinball, which, I mean, come on. Like, does anybody really want those games? Like, if you're going to, like, would those be in your, like, top 10 Pokemon handheld games to put out on Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance? No. So, like, but we know they're, like, super weird about that shit sometimes about, like, putting out the big games. Like, they, like, my go-to is they put Pokemon Snap out on the Wii U the month before the Switch came out. So, like, they do weird shit like that. So, I don't know. I definitely think it's awesome. If it looks like this is happening, it's very rare when we have like a leak of this sort. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pumped. I hope, and I'm hoping for I'm honestly more excited, I think, for the Game Boy Color games, just because I have more nostalgia for those than I do Game Boy Advance. So
okay,
yeah. But let's move on to the next Nintendo topic, Gables, that we got here. We have Nintendo announced 2 release dates. So on Tuesday, they just announced the release date for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And it was supposed to be September. All of a sudden, July 29th, the week after Live Alive is coming out, Gables.
They moved it up.
Yeah, they moved it up 2 months, which, Gables, I was like, wow, when's the last time I remember that happening? And you want to know the last time I'm sure it's happened. The last time I remember a big game bumping up release date.
Yeah.
It's a little game that we know and love. Resident Evil 6. Bumped it up with like a month before the game came out. They bumped it up like 2 weeks. And it
still didn't help.
No, they probably should have bumped it like 2 more years. But anyways, just gotta be kind of a fun comparison to do there. But yeah, so that game got like announced. Like a lot of like people were like, okay, so like Nintendo is known for like their games are done 2-3 months, sometimes longer in advance, and they just kind of wait to find an empty spot in their schedule to put these games in. Like people like Pikmin Deluxe 3 was done for like a year before they finally put it out. Paper Mario, and that came out a couple years ago, same thing. Like they're just trying to find, when they have an empty spot in the schedule, they put it out then. But it's very weird. They got to go from December, bump it up 2 months basically. So if you're trying to play through the Xenoblade 1 and 2 before 3 comes out, it's a big fuck you from Nintendo on that one. And then Friday morning they announced, like, so a big thing was like, okay, the big thing immediately was like, okay, Splatoon is supposed to be summer, so maybe they're just kind of swapping. Well, then Friday they announced Splatoon 3 is coming out September 9th, still technically summer.
Yep.
I know it violates like the honor. It violates the honor of summer because summer is June, July, August. We all know that. But if you're
Yeah.
gonna go by a fucking calendar with the stupid fucking solstice, because everything goes around because everything's got to revolve around the goddamn sun. Fucking asshole. Fuck you, sun. Fuck you. I'm flipping the sun off. Here, I'll do it like this. Fuck you, sun. Fuck you. You burn me. I don't like you. I'm a ginger. I'm very sensitive to you. Fuck you. You do nothing for me except for keep me alive. Um. Anyways, I don't know why I got really mad at the sun there.
I'm really mad at the sun, and all of a sudden it just sustains you life. Like,
Yeah.
well. Then the very next day, you just get a whole bunch of sunburn.
Yeah, right. I don't even go outside, still get burnt. Just wake up with like third degree burns. And you're right there, funny.
If you fucking woke up with third-degree burns, dude, you'd be fucking like in so much pain. You're like, oh, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah. Just like my
Why does it
like,
smell like burnt bacon?
I'd be like Stewie when he fell asleep in the tanning booth. In that the episode of Family Guy when he like gets out, he's like, every time he's moving, everything's just pain. Anyways, sorry for audio listeners. Gable's about to spit up his coffee. But I don't even know where to. Oh, it's Splatoon. So, anyways, those games look like they just kind of swap places. Like the kind of like you going in. Like I'm like, okay, so we're gonna talk about like a lot of people are talking about the theorize. Okay, but like, now we basically just know they just kind of swapped. And Nintendo, we've always known Nintendo. They go by what the calendar says of what winter and summer is, because like they've like I remember Arms was a spring game, and it came out in mid-June, like the week before summer officially began. Because fuck you, sun. Once I just want to make sure that I don't want that to go away. Like they take that, like whenever people say like spring or like early beginning of the year stuff, like pretty much everybody goes like, okay, early means before April. Spring means like March, April, May. Nintendo, no, they go by that's what the solstice says. But anyways, I don't know why I got a rant about that, but I did. And that's what I'm here for. But anyways, I don't know. I mean, neither one of these games are really for me. I love Splatoon 1. I played the shit out of that. One of my games of the year in 2014. I want to say 2015. 2014? 2015.
Yeah.
That's right. It was 2015 because I remember it was Justin's game of the year. I was upset because he picked it over Metal Gear Solid 5. Obviously, I'm still not over that. He also put Codename Steam on his top 10 list that year, and I'm not over that.
I remember you get super pissed off at that too.
Yeah. And what's that one game called with the fucking
Until Dawn?
No, with the Yarny. What's the game? I can't remember the name of the game. Fuck that game. Unraveled. Fuck you, Gables, for reminding me the name of that, and fuck the sun for allowing us to live for that game to be made. I'm really taking my anger out in the sun right now. Anyways, I'm trying to keep on track. I'm doing the best I can, guys. Gables, take over, because I'm gonna keep rambling about the sun. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Right.
Where are you at?
All right, so here we go. In regards to the whole announcements this week, in regards to the whole swapping of release dates, in regards to Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and also for Splatoon 3, it's fairly interesting because it kind of got me thinking a bit, because even though both of them have swapped, and it makes sense for both of them to swap, considering you have a massive RPG that is literally inside the summer months, and then you have Splatoon 3 that's introducing like pretty much a couple of weeks before like summer is officially over, and it's like towards the now October to the end of the year, there is a big opening. There's absolutely is a big opening in regards to releases. I mean, for all we know, Nintendo possibly could go forth and insert Advance Wars like Reboot Camp somewhere in between this said thing, to where it could be like, say, a September release. It could be like the 2nd September release, or it could be like in August or something. Because initially that's what we thought that Splatoon 3 was going to be releasing in general, which was
July.
Like late summer, like
August.
July, August, and that stuff. But also got me to thinking, it's like, you know what? They got something else that they're going to try to announce and put in that spot. And it's going to be something that we probably don't know too much about right now.
We know it exists.
We don't know if it exists.
Well, we're pretty sure it exists.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But at the same point, it's like, it definitely is something that I got it just to thinking about, because it's like there are a couple rumblings going on about like initially potentially like a Donkey Kong game, but potentially of this and that, but it's just more or less rumors of anything else.
Yeah.
But it just feels weird that they went through now and just switched Splatoon 3 and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And the initial thought of mine goes to they probably have something else lined up to where it's going to not take away from, like, say, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 instead of September.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Well, and the way I was probably looking at it was Xenoblade's probably done, and Splatoon probably needed like another 2 months. That was July 29th was probably the Splatoon date, and they're like, we need like 6 more weeks, and then that's what
Yeah,
they
that
did.
could also be the case.
But yeah, I mean, like we keep talking about, there's a lot of games, a lot of Nintendo games that are slated for this year that don't have dates. Like when now Advance Wars slipped. June already has two first party games. They got the Strikers and the Fire Emblem Warriors game.
Yeah.
July's got Live a Live, which isn't like a big. It's not first party, but it is exclusive. It's not like, I wouldn't say a big game, but it's a game. And then
But it's a
the
very
week,
important game.
yeah. But it's not like, it's not gonna be a big mover, I don't think, for
Right.
them. But like Xenoblade is like comes out. So we got two of those games coming out at the end of the month. So maybe they squeeze
Right.
something in there. But I mean, literally, I think Fire Emblem Warriors comes out like the last week of June. So you're only going like a few weeks in there. And then like um, Imran Khan, who's like, he's one of the, I think he's like the head of basically Fanbyte, or one of the top people there.
Right.
He knows a lot of details. He was kind of like guessing on what he thought the release date would be for the rest of the year, and he's like, he was like kind of guessing a lot of stuff. But he said there's something in August, and his quote was, he just put question marks. He's like, I won't say it, but trust me, you don't want it. And I don't know what that means. I'm trying to think. I'm like, is there like a Mario? Is there like a Nintendo game that he hates or that nobody likes that's coming that we don't know about, or a game that we just forgot about? I don't know.
Or you could just be a complete troll and just say, "Oh, this is
Yeah,
when the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess thing releases."
yeah, because I mean that's one of the things that people were like before Splatoon 3 got dated was, oh, maybe that means like something's getting delayed out to next year, and we gotta fill a gap, and we're gonna put the Zelda remakes and remasters in there. Advance Wars still needs a spot. Like I said, there's a lot of games that don't have dates yet that we don't know about. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. I don't know. I mean, it's okay. We're definitely. I mean, it's exciting that we're getting to the point now where games are getting dated, and I mean, we're definitely at that point now where we need to start getting dates on things, because I mean, it's end of April, especially if we're talking about summer months. Like like you probably at least want a good 3 months or so to like build up to like kind of advertise and give people notice that, hey, this game's coming. Like on top of that, like some good news was odd thing where like one of the like Bruno something on Twitter, he's like one of the lead people at Santa Monica Studios working on God of War Ragnarok. Somebody tweeted at him, hey, can you tell us if this game's coming out this year? And he said this game is for sure coming in 2022. So on one hand, that makes I think that makes a lot of God of War fans extremely relieved. Like, delays. I mean, not that we'd be mad about delays, but it's like, I think there's just like a lot of like, I don't want to say anxiety, but a lot of like nerves around that game of like, well, it's like it's been a while since we've heard about this game. It's supposed to be a 2021 game. Like, we've only seen like the stuff we saw, I think like a September of last year was like the only time we've actually seen gameplay of this. We've heard nothing since. And they said like, actually on the 20th was the 4-year anniversary of God of War 2018 coming out, and Cory Barlog, the director of the first game, he did a video saying, oh, it's crazy, it's been 4 years, and hey, like, that's an update. We're still working on it. We got our heads down. As soon as we have something to show you, have more details, you'll be the first to know, stuff like that. So, but anyways, like, and then like I think like a day or two later, one of the guys said that on Twitter about the game was for sure coming out this year. So I don't know. That's on one hand, it makes me very relieved, but it also gives me flashbacks to I remember when the Cyberpunk, the people that ran the Twitter account, the PR company for Cyberpunk, ran ran the account, and someone said, "Hey, is this game coming out on this day?" And it was like the date in I think like late October, and they said 100% it's coming out this day. And then the very next day they delayed it like 6 weeks to December. So I keep having that was the first thing I thought of was like, cool, maybe, look, God of War Ragnarok's coming this year, and I'm like, and then I had like PTSD, like not really like because like I wasn't like super hyped for Cyberpunk to be going into it. Like, well, I mean I was, but like I wasn't like as high. It's not the sequel to my favorite game of all time. You know, like Cyberpunk,
Right.
it was like a game I'm interested in because it just has Keanu Reeves in it more than anything, honestly. But anyways, yeah. So that was, that gives some relief there. Makes me feel more comfortable because it's like what I said. I kept saying last year. As soon as they announced God of War Ragnarok was coming, and then it said 2021, the very first thing I said on the next podcast in September or October or whatever it was, 2020, I was like, that's not coming in 2021. And then I was saying all throughout until they finally said, no, it's coming 2022. I was like, just tell me it's not coming this year. That way I don't have to like think about like, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Like, just give me that relief, you know? It's like, you know, you get that, your stomach's upset and you got to go to the bathroom, but you kind of get the little poof out there to like, oh, okay. I just bought myself, I feel a little better now. You know, you get that little fart out, to make you give you a little relief, you know, you're a little, plugged up. But anyways, moving on here, Gables to, some non-Nintendo news. So Amy Hennig, who we both love, one of the basically probably the most important person for the creation of Uncharted. Both of ours will probably are probably in the top 10 favorite franchises of ours individually. Fair to say. So she has a new studio, Skydance New Media, and so big thing was she left about midway through the Uncharted 4 making of that game. So like when she left, like they basically had to, like redid a good chunk of the story. But she went to EA to make Star Wars games, and she had like the game was like codenamed Ragtag. We got to see actually some gameplay of it, and like a lot of the rumors were, and like Gary Whitta and a few other people talk about like they've seen a lot of gameplay. It never came out, and that game looked phenomenal. And everybody just kept saying that game was Uncharted. It was Star Wars Uncharted, which that sounds fucking awesome. I mean, like,
It does.
EA was like, hey, we hired the lady that created Uncharted, and she made a Star Wars game that looks like Uncharted. We don't want that. It's like, why the fuck would you hire her to do? Anyways,
This is like during the whole duration of fucking EA messing up with the Star Wars license and stuff that led to the creation of Battlefield, like Star Wars Battlefield,
Battlefront.
Battlefront.
Yeah, Battlefront
Yeah.
2. But yeah, then like so that game got canceled, and then they were gonna like convert the assets, and then they were gonna make a live service Star Wars game, and then that whole game got canceled. And then the Dead Space studio, I can't the name's escaping me of it, the original one. Visceral, thank you. They got closed down basically because of it. I think that's where she's working with Visceral. So anyways, she left EA shortly after she started her own studio, Skydance New Media, and they announced this week that she is working on a fucking Star Wars game. She is actually like legit huge fan of Star Wars. It's always exciting when like fans of like when people are working on like a known IP, they get the fans of that. Like we're hearing that a lot with like Machine Games is unfortunately, because I want Wolfenstein 3, but they're working on Indiana Jones game, and Todd Howard is like one of the head people on that game, and he's a Indiana Jones fanboy, so which is awesome. You always like to hear that. So like that usually means they're going to treat it with a little more respect, and also she's not working like Amy Hennig here is not working for a big conglomerate. She's working, she runs the studio. So anyway, they're saying it sounds like she's also working on a Marvel game as well. So that's interesting. We don't know too much about that one. But this will be a story-driven single-player action adventure game. Is kind of what we know so far. So we don't know other details. We don't know timeline. Is like when does this take place in the series? I'm all for like let's get out of like the Skywalker era.
I'll be perfectly honest. I would much rather have it be its own thing at this point.
Like Jedi Fallen Order and stuff like that was like I have my issues with that game. I still think it was a very good game. There's a lot of bugs at the beginning. That was the main issue because I'm playing at launch, but like I love the fact it was like its own separate thing. Like even like Force Unleashed, I really like that one. But like number 2 wasn't very good because they had changed the ending of 1 to make 2. Anyways, because I'm all for it. I trust, you know, Uncharted, like we were talking about, like both of ours, some of our 2 of our favorite video game IPs ever. I just finished replaying Uncharted 4 a couple months ago. So yeah, I fully trust her on what she's gonna do. This game is probably 4 or 5 years away, but I have all the faith in the world in this game. So what about you, Gables?
You know what? I'm open to it. If it's like what she was initially doing before and have it be like Star Wars Uncharted, I'm all
Yeah,
for it. I don't care at this point. I want to try something different in regards to the Star Wars licensing.
yeah,
And you know what? That just sounds like something up my alley.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, I am fully on board. And another thing, I am fully on board with Gables. Some other news here we got this week. We're getting a Streets of Rage movie, man.
Streets
And
of Rage movie.
yeah, yeah. And you want who's writing it?
No.
The guy that made
God.
fucking John Wick, dude. This
Oh,
movie's gonna fucking when I heard that, I'm like, oh man. And then like the next day, like one of the guys, the main guy that made John Wick, that wrote the script for John Wick is making this movie. I'm like, this movie could be fucking awesome. Then I just don't just make the music, just make it like 80s with that fucking neon going. Oh man, I've been like,
get the composer that did the Streets of Rage games.
don't even the composer.
Seriously.
Just literally copy and paste the music. Just there's probably some original soundtracks on YouTube. Just save that and put it in the goddamn movie.
Just make it like a B-rated action film, dude. I mean, that's Streets of Rage in a nutshell. It's
Yes.
80s action.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like, give me the Raid. That movie's fucking incredible. Like I'm just like, if it's just 70% of like the action scenes of John Wick, this movie will be phenomenal. Like I'm not like expecting this to be like the greatest movie of all time, but this could be like a really like if it's just a really fun fucking fight movie, I'm all in. Like this movie could fucking rule.
Could it be awesome? Would it be awesome or something like that where it's like they do like the initial movie and then like maybe the second movie, the sequel or some of it, if they initially get that far, and just the opening cinematics and stuff like that is just a fully animated opening like Streets of Rage 2.
I'd be all in. As long as we don't keep the kangaroo out of it. Okay? Can we all agree on that?
Okay, that's Streets of Rage 3, so it's like the cyborg and kangaroo.
Yeah, can we all agree to keep them out of it, but like keep everything else? I want the fucking elevator. I want that fucking fight scene. That's gotta be like an awesome like 10 minutes, no cut, fucking awesome ass fucking fight scene. I want that.
You gotta have the fucking Mr. X like boss scene like in fucking Streets of Rage 2.
Yes.
With the
oh my
gun
god.
shit.
Yes. Just you can call in a guy to randomly shoot a grenade launcher from his fucking police car.
Oh my god,
man.
Oh, that's right. That was the original Streets of Rage.
Yeah, that was They didn't, that's funny. They had like the special power up, and they got rid of it after the first game. Man, I'm really excited for this game or movie. I especially like I'm definitely more hyped after like 2020 when we got Street Rage 4 and that game was fucking awesome.
It was.
It really renewed my love. Like I forgot how great those games were, and then like just hearing that soundtrack, it's in my head right now. I'm just listening to the soundtrack right now. Oh man, I can't. I never like when I heard that I'm like, oh, okay, and then like then I saw the headline the next day. I'm like, yes. But maybe some more puzzling movie news, Gables.
Yeah.
We're getting an It Takes Two movie, which, yeah, it could be good. With executive producer Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
When you sent me that link earlier on this week, I looked at it. I looked who was going to be producing or helping in that regards, and I saw The Rock's name. I'm like, okay, well, this is going to definitely be a thing.
Yeah. So it's coming to Amazon. It's gonna be an Amazon movie. I think it's like you hear about that shit all the time. Like someone like this person's executive producer, but really they're just like, we're just gonna give you some money to say that you were involved in this movie, kind of thing. But you
That's
don't
what
really
it
have to do
sounds like to
anything.
me.
So I wouldn't be surprised, but like he does own his own movie company, $7 Entertainment, I believe is what it's called.
Okay.
So as I probably more so that his company's gonna be involved in it. He gets an executive producer title, but I don't know. Like I don't. Is I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing. It's just it's a weird one. I mean, I guess like if you would have told me like when we were talking about Sonic that when that got announced they're making a Sonic movie years ago, I'm like, oh boy. And like I didn't like Sonic the Sonic movie, but I know I am in the minority on that one. I understand that. Like I didn't like it 'cause for me. I'm sure a lot of people love it, but I was never a huge Sonic guy to begin with. But people love it. People love the new one. So I didn't think that would. I don't think any of us thought, especially the way Sonic's been treated the last 20 years, 25
Mm.
years. Nobody probably thought that the Sonic movie would be any good, and it was people love it. So anything is possible with It Takes Two. I mean, we love that game. I think it could be a fun movie. It's not even a Dwayne the Rock Johnson thing. I'm not even really worried about him. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it just depends who's in it. I think what's weird though is like the problem with that game was like the game was awesome. It was
The
um,
story.
yeah, but the story like the story is like fine. It was the characters, the parents were just kind of awful people.
Yeah,
So, which was
essentially.
like, and it's like we never really redeemed that part. Where it's like you guys just kind of suck.
Yeah,
But
that's the thing. They
you
never
did
really did redeem themselves in
no.
that regards. They just went through. They earned back the favor of their daughter and stuff like that, and just went
I
on from there.
I
On top of like all the damn scarring like scenes in regards to like the
we
fucking
we killed Ellie the elephant.
we killed the girl's favorite toy. We fucking
We
like
literally ripped its
disemboweled and
leg
like
off. We sucked the
yeah.
eyeballs out of the vacuum. Um,
I know, right? That's fucking traumatic if you're gonna
yeah.
put that as a kids movie.
I don't. Yeah. God. Yeah. Right. So I don't
Oh,
know.
not to mention that boss, the first boss that we faced against that damn fan and end up sucking itself to death, I
Yeah. That's
think.
why there's a vacuum cleaner and we sucked its eyeballs out. Um,
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
right.
Sucking yourself to death just seems like a solid way to go out. But unless you're a vacuum cleaner. Um, but I don't know. It's just this is a weird one. Like Streets of Rage is fun because like we've seen fun action movies. But like It Takes Two is just like, I mean, it could just be like a rom com type thing where it's like I'm just thinking I don't know. I'm not gonna like I don't know. And like I was like, oh, maybe Dwayne's gonna be in the movie. But I'm like, I don't know. Like that'd be kind of weird. I mean, like Jumanji's awesome. Like I love. I mean, I'm biased with The Rock because I'm a wrestling group of wrestling fan. I love Fast and Furious. Jumanji movies are actually really good. Um, so I don't know. It could be a good movie. It's just depending on who's casted and how it works out. I don't know.
Watch
But
The Rock play the book.
you know what, Gables? I am back in on that movie. This movie might rule if or Antonio Banderas is the book. Um,
There you go, man. That would work awesomely too.
yeah, if we get
Because he does
Antonio,
have that sort of accent too.
yeah, because it sounded like a Antonio Banderas knockoff in the
Mhm.
game. So but another news story here though, Gables for us. Tales of the Borderland. We both love that game.
Yeah.
That came out like 2014, 15, I want to say.
Yeah.
Telltale made it. We both loved it. Gables, I think it's the only like one of the few Telltale games that you played. I pretty much played all of them. Go ahead.
It is the only Telltale game I've
Okay.
played through and beat. Finished, I should say.
Yeah, yeah, but if people have listened for a long time. I pretty much beaten all their stuff except for like the Minecraft. That was the only thing I haven't done of theirs, since Walking Dead season one. And yeah, like I'm a huge fan of their stuff. Tales of the Borderlands was awesome. It was hilarious.
Yes.
The only big issue was like, they were going like they had like 3-4 month gaps in between episodes,
Yes.
and they even made like reference to that in the beginning of one episodes. One of the, about like yeah we know it's been a long time anyway, but like that you played it after it came out and that was perfect time to do it because that game was incredible. It's fucking hilarious. Who would have thought that Borderlands would have worked out in a Telltale style game? So, anyways, they're doing another season. There's no like we just got like a. They just said that basically it's coming. Apparently, it's coming out this year. No idea if it's going to be coming out episodic. I think we've learned over the last few years that the episodic stuff, like releasing it separately, does not work.
No.
So even like, but I'm not gonna get to the whole talk about that again. I've done it too many times on this podcast, but we've seen that like it falls off. So even like Life is Strange last year, they just put the whole game out at once. Well, maybe they don't do the episodic thing. Maybe they just make it like just a game. It's just a normal.
I'd be more a fan of that.
Yeah, or even if they want like, anyways, I don't want to get off topic here. Sorry. But anyways, they're making another season of it. No idea if it's gonna have the same characters back or not. But Telltale is not working on the game. Gearbox is working on the game. So I don't know about that. How I feel about that one. Like we like the characters that they put in the Tales of the Borderland the first season, they've actually added into the main games and stuff. I believe they're in Borderlands 3 because it takes place between 2 and 3. But
okay, that makes sense.
So
good.
Most of the voice actors did not come back from the first season to Borderlands 3. Like they had what the fuck is his name? He plays Joel from Last of Us. He's always got got beautiful hair and
tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
let me guess.
He's in everything.
Cole and Infamous 2.
Troy Baker.
Troy Baker, I think his name is.
He was like the main actor of the first game, and he's not gonna be. He wasn't a part of Borderlands 3. He might come back for this one, but I doubt it. But I don't know. I mean, like, it's weird though. The game apparently is coming this year. But if we literally just got a thing saying it's in production. And apparently it's been in development for years now. I don't know. It's definitely like when you heard the news about like It Takes Two. It's like I'm gonna be cautious. Like I never thought there'd be a possibility of getting in there any more of that. But like even like Telltale itself is like it's a good chunk of the people that work at the new Telltale were from the old one, but it's not all the same old people. But I don't know. I'm game. I've fell off hard on Borderlands. I didn't even bother playing 3. I have zero interest in Tiny Tina's adventure. But like if this comes out and it's good quality and like it continues on that storyline of with those characters from the first game, I would be all in to check out the new one. What about you, Gables?
To be perfectly honest with you, it's like I am kind of intrigued in regards to what they do for Tales of the Borderlands, but I'm of the same mindset as you, where I fell off heavy from Borderlands after playing through a lot of Borderlands 2, looked at Borderlands 3, looked at the critical from like the review ratings and all the other DLC stuff. I basically have done the same thing like I did with Borderlands 2, was waited for every single content thing to drop first before initially making a purchase.
Yeah.
And as far as Tiny Tina goes, it looks kind of interesting in that regards, and it's gotten favorable reviews, but it's definitely one of those bargain discount type of things I probably will pick up down the line. But as far as Tales of the Borderlands sequel in this regards goes, I'm kind of wondering if they will stick with a narrative sort of adventure style thing like they did with Telltale, or they're going to completely try to make this into a different type of game genre in general.
Yeah, I would be out then.
Yeah,
I feel like if they're calling this Tales of the Borderland, it's they're basically going to try to do their own Telltale thing, which I hope they do. It's just a matter of like, when you have the A team from Telltale's working on something, you can tell. It's like there's the platinum games type thing with like the old Telltale, where it's like, okay, you have the A team like Batman, Walking Dead, Tales of the Borderland, even maybe Guardians of the Galaxy was probably like the B team. That game was still very good content. But you can always tell when you had like the A and the B team working on those games. And that definitely was the A team. So, if it comes out, it's good quality. I mean, definitely, it's gonna be one you're gonna keep. I'm definitely keep my eye on. So, but moving on to this. This is a quick one here. Not too much really to add. PlayStation Plus, we got an update on that one. The new PS Plus. They're targeting June 13th for the United States.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, definitely around the time that E3 would have been. So yeah.
Yeah. So no more details than that. Although Siphon Filter was 1 through 3 were rated in Japan.
Yeah, there were
So
supposedly some PS1 game type of things that were kind of like leaked in Siphon Filter games, were sort of like the hodgepodge of games that were supposedly among the leaks.
mm. So we'll have to wait and see. It's just still continuing to be kind of weird the way they've done this whole thing of like they
Agreed.
announced the pricing. What they announced was they announced the details of it. Then we got the timeline for it, and then but we have no way. We have like I don't know. I'm gonna wait. Like they could still blow us away. They got what 6 more weeks here. It kind of works out
Yeah.
perfectly here. Is the week I'm on vacation is the week this comes out. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes out and it's awesome, and I have a bunch of shit to play while I'm on vacation. Um, but yeah,
Well, one of my biggest things in regards to that service in and of itself, one feature I kind of hope goes into effect is like online multiplayer things for say PSP games.
yeah, um, yeah, yeah, definitely. It's just the whole rollout's been weird. Of like, usually when you
Yeah.
announce something, you want to blow us away right away, and it's just been kind of like lackluster from the beginning. But like I said, we'll wait and see. Like they can still. I mean, they come out and they do like a big thing in like in May or something, and like do like a 5 minute video and just like show us some fucking cover art and then break it out. Like here's all the shit coming. They could definitely. I mean, they do something really good with that. Everything they've done in the past it will be fine. We'll get over it real fast. We are dumb consumers that just like we just want the things we like. But anyways, Gables, that's pretty much it for news. Like I said, not a lot like a couple bigger stuff, but a lot of things worth talking about. Just not a lot like big huge things happening. But
Right.
we should be getting to the time here soon where we're gonna be like, I mean, Summer Games Fest is supposed to be happening in June, so you gotta think that we're gonna start getting some details in the next few weeks, and then we're gonna start hearing all the fucking rumors. So who knows?
Oh yes,
Imagine
rumor
in
season.
a few weeks, yeah, it's gonna be like rumors. So we'll have to wait and see.
That whole month of May is just going to be nothing but rumors.
Yeah, we will. We will probably. I have a feeling in about 2-3 weeks, um, we're gonna have a shit ton of stuff to talk about because it's gonna be like I said, yeah, rumors, and leaks and shit like that. So, but anyways, let's move on. We've been playing Gables. If you're okay with it,
Okay.
you cool with me going first?
Yeah, sure. Go
All
ahead.
right. I've only really played one game this week. I talked about a little bit. I kind of gave like I mentioned it last week. I started playing last Friday, Ghostwire Tokyo,
Uh-huh.
and I put like a good, actually like 9 hours into it, almost 10 hours into
Okay.
it last weekend. But then just been super busy with work, and then obviously the wedding. So I was like, fuck, I barely remember anything that happened in that game by the
Oh
time we
no.
got to today. And then I played it for a few more hours today, actually, once I finally kind of got my shit together today. So I'm like 12 hours in now. I just got to the part where like you got to like the thing that says this is the point of no return. So I probably got like I'm
Wow.
probably right towards the end. Um, but so far like so this is the people that this is Tequila Tango Gameworks I believe is
Yes.
yeah, Tango. I want to say Tequila. I'm like, that's not right. These are the guys that made Evil Within 1 and 2. Uh, Probably very few people like on the internet that have raved about these games more than me. I love those games. Um, so I was I'm not I won't say very disappointed, but I was kind of bummed out when they announced uh, that we weren't getting Evil Within 3. There's been some rumblings that they're working on it, but we don't know. But anyways, uh, and this kind of came out. Their reviews kind of came out, and they weren't like blow away. Like they were positive, but they weren't like this wasn't getting like overall like everybody's saying this game is great. Like a lot of people were like it's good, and then like so like people were saying oh this game is great. Like it's in there, but mostly it's good. And I kind of I lean close to the it's good. You know, like it's definitely like I would put it like a high 7, low 8 type of game. Like I think that's where I think it's like a 78 on OpenCritic, and that's feels good. To kind of give like a point value for it. So far, but I will say like so it's kind of like a map game actually. Oddly enough,
Hmm.
so like the main gist of the game is, like the Evil Within games are like super like horror. Like the guy that runs Tango GameWorks, he was the creator of like Resident Evil 2 and 4, and so he like basically Evil Within 1 and 2 was like the modern day Resident Evil 4, and these games came out before we got like the good Resident Evil remakes and like 7 and
Right.
8. So like this was like the modern day, like cool, we got some great fucking horror games out. This one isn't, so like you're in Tokyo obviously. And basically like this like spirit comes in, and like everybody in the city is like they basically almost like get raptured essentially, and like their clothes just fall on the ground. The whole city is abandoned. There's just souls everywhere. Like you gotta fight like these evil spirits. And like there's like a Slender Man looking guy. Um, there's like a like the kind of like the weird like ghost creature thing from The Ring is in this. Very creepy looking creatures, but it's not a horror game. It's more like a action game. Uh,
Right.
and like so like this guy named KK, like he's a ghost. He actually like goes into your body because like you get in a motorcycle accident and you're about to die, right before all the shit happened, and he goes into your body. So now like you're working together to like the evil people here that are like responsible for all this are they have I can't remember his name. Akio. I can't remember. Anyways, the main guy that's like the guy that was in a motorcycle accident. Uh, his sister was in a coma in the hospital. He was on his way there, and the main villains have taken her, and they're going to use her for this ritual. And so you're working together with the spirit KK, and you have these powers. And like basically like you think of these powers like a gun, but like your fingers. And like you do this like it looks really cool. It looks like Doctor Strange from like Marvel. He's doing a lot of cool shit on the screen. It's very colorful and looks very pretty. But like I don't love the gameplay of it. It's like not like because like so you have wind power, like these wind ones, but it's like
Right.
it's more like a pistol type thing if you think about it. Like it's like it doesn't do a lot of damage, but you can shoot a little faster. And you can charge it and hold it for like a few seconds, and it'll shoot 3 shots for like rapid shots at like enemies. But it doesn't do a lot of damage. And you have a water one that it'll shoot like a wave out. That kind of goes like it has like it's a wider kind of like I would say like, but it doesn't have a lot of distance. It's more like a shotgun kind of effect. And like you can hold it and you'll charge it, and like the wave like it'll be longer. And then you have like the fire damage that is more like a grenade. You can shoot it; it does a lot of damage, or you can hold it and it does a bigger blast radius damage. And you can like there's skill trees you can upgrade. A lot of things, and like there's levels, there's experience points. You have these gates that you have to like kill all the enemies at, and you can like open up the gates, and it opens up like you can't go into the fog of the city because like that's where the souls are and they'll kill you. So you go through these gates. You open up these gates and it opens up more of the map. So it's kind of like think of it like watchtowers and like Assassin's Creed, that type of thing. Where you have to like go and like open up kill the enemies at this gate to open up more areas, and then there's side missions. There's you can find just souls around the world, and which are really good ways to like the more souls you find, that's actually like the quickest, easiest way to earn money and experience points. Like a shit ton of it's way easier and a lot faster to just go around and find souls. And like you hit square and it'll do like that thing where like it'll do a ping out, and you could see like all the stuff on your screen. You could like, oh, there's souls over here, there's a store over here, stuff like that. So every time I see souls, I'm going and like finding them. There's hundreds of souls everywhere. So it's a good way to like earn experience points and money real fast. But anyways, so like the gameplay is not like super fun. I'm not like loving it. Some of the boss fights are pretty good, but like the overall like just going around fighting the enemies, like the enemies are awesome looking. This game is gorgeous. I think the colors, especially like the HDR, like oh, man, this game just kind of fucking pops with that stuff. But like it's not like a blast, but like just the world, like that loop you get into. That's always a big thing of these map games, is like really getting into that loop. Like Horizon, like the loop of that game really sucks me in. But like the big thing on that one is the combat's so good that I just want to keep going around fighting fucking enemies. And this one, that's like the biggest issue is like I don't want to do a lot of the side quests that like. So the side quests are actually pretty fun. Like the side quests in like Evil Within 2 were really good, I thought. This one the kind of the story and what you're doing and some of the shit that's happening in it are pretty cool. But like the ones that are like really combat focused, where you have to fight waves of enemies, or like use like, oh, you got like there's these ghosts are like are like they're taking over this area. Can you go kill them for me? It's like, oh, okay, I'll do that. But like some of them, like you gotta go in. There's like this evil specter that's like, in this business, and basically like he like convinces people to like kill themselves, and then he traps those souls in there, and then that soul has to in order to be free to go to heaven or hell or whatever, he has to convince somebody else to kill themselves. This that could like that's kind of some cool like interesting stories with that, like, but then like I said, like but then like most of them are just like go kill these enemies over here. But, like you find like every now and then you find some cool ones like that, and I like those ones. But yeah, like I think the story is actually pretty interesting. I'm very confused on how like the spirit world part works, but like I think some of the characters in the game are cool. But yeah, I'm having a good time with it. Like I said, I'm like 12 hours in. I'm like I said, I just got to the point of no return, so I imagine I'm like an hour or two away from beating it. This is like I really actually recommend this game. It's better than I thought it would be going into it. But like I wouldn't be shocked if this game's on my top 10 list. But it's gonna be like one of those like it is not a game of the year contender. I would say it's like that 8, 9, 10 range kind of game. But yeah, like I'm not trying to like downgrade it. Like that's still very good, especially like this has been a very, very good year for gaming.
Yes, it
like,
has.
I've already got
so
like
far.
5 or 6 games on my list, and there's 3 or 4 other games that have come out this year that I still want to play. Like it's April 23rd right now. So like that's a pretty fucking awesome year when we can almost do a top 10 list for the top 10 games that come out in the first 4 months of the year.
4 months.
Yeah, that's I don't know if we've had a year like that since. And they're like good quality games. We're not just like fucking trying to like put some shit together. Yeah, this game I think it's very, very good. It's not great. Like Evil Within, I thought Evil Within like had a lot of problems. Especially that first beginning, but that second half really sold me on it. Evil Within 2 really was awesome. So I feel like if they do a sequel, which personally I'd rather do Evil Within 3 than Ghostwire Tokyo 2, but either way, I feel like if Evil Within 3 or Ghostwire Tokyo 2 is the next thing they put out, I'm probably gonna buy day one, because if they build upon this and they just make that combat feel like, because like the problem is like good like action games, you feel when you do damage, you can feel when you hit an enemy, when you like, especially like a shooting game like Gears of War, you can feel when you do damage. You can feel like if you're in a fighting game, you can feel when you like you hit somebody, you melee somebody. And this game, he doesn't have that impact. So like sometimes I'm just shooting and I'm like, did I actually do anything? Kind of like that kind of an issue. But like yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, I know I'm being mostly negative, but I actually really do like this game. I think the big thing is just like the things I'm liking the most about this game is just actually wandering the world itself. And like there's so many cute things in this game. I almost forgot to talk about was like all of the shops in the game. You can buy like health, you can buy like items, you can buy like food to like heal, or actually like some to like to like 10% defensive boost for a short amount of time. All of the shops are ran by cats, and they're adorable, and they just kind of like float in the air and they talk to you because you can like and like there's water and roll Gables.
Yeah.
You can buy dog food, and not only can you pet the dogs, Gables, you can feed the dogs. And let me tell you, Gables, I spent so much money on dog food in this fucking game because I'm petting and I'm feeding every goddamn dog. And you feed the dog, Gables, they will take you to like a nearby, like they either like dig up some money for you, or they'll take you if there's like a hidden thing nearby, like a hidden collectible, or there's like these like things you can pray to, and they can like they up like your like the amount of capacity you can hold for ammo, that are very helpful because like some of them like they're going like the fire one you only get like 5 of, and like you can usually like find a bunch of things around to like upgrade your like or to like refill your ammo, but it's like when you're in the fight, it's like you can very quickly, if you're not smart about it and you're just like smashing buttons, you can quickly run out of like ammo on like your wind, fire, and water damage. But yeah, like no, I'm like I just love the aesthetics of the world. I love like all the best parts of this game is just wandering around, finding the souls, doing some of the cool story missions. The skill tree is actually it's one of the better skill trees I've seen in games. Um,
Okay.
I played recently. Like I love Horizon Forbidden West. That skill tree kind of sucks. Um, but yeah, so it's really good. I like it a lot. I actually do really recommend this game. But like I think GameFly has it for $40 right now. If you can find it for like $40 or a little cheaper, definitely I'd say pick it up. It's definitely worth trying. It doesn't seem like I've done a lot of wandering around, but if you want to mainline it, you could probably beat it in like 8-10 hours. It seems like so far, but like if you're someone like me that can get more into that loop, like there's a lot. I've done a lot. I've barely touched the surface on the map. And you could probably put 20-30 hours in this game easily if you want to like just get to that loop. But anyways, it's a very, very good game. Gables, what have you been playing, buddy?
All right. So the only game I really have been playing this week has been the new release on the Nintendo Switch Online, which has been Mario Golf, the classic game from the N64. Interesting. Try to play this game for, well, since the first time I initially started playing Mario Golf, which was way back when it first released. It's been kind of a trippy experience because the first thing I did in that game, kind of similar to what I'm doing right now, was going to unlocking characters. Because when you start out, you start off with like maybe a handful of characters. I think four, or possibly like six
Mm-hmm.
at most. The thing about this game that was kind of a bit of a bummer is you don't have access to any of the characters that you could have done for like the N64 transfer pack. Which here's a little
Yeah.
back information in regards to Mario Golf. Mario Golf was an N64 game and also was a Game Boy Color game, and you could actually use the transfer pack.
Yeah,
It
there
was
was.
one of the few games that would allow you to use the transfer pack to transfer your saved character data from the Game Boy Color to the N64 permanently. You can put it inside of the game,
Yep.
and then you would have that character. So there are like maybe 3 or 4 different character
There's
sprites
four.
you could have access on. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's four.
that's that. I watched a YouTube video. Someone was talking about because there's been like talks about the transfer pack coming if they do the Game Boy thing, and like
Oh yeah.
here's like some of the benefits of it. And that's one of the things they're talking about was like Mario Golf specifically was like there's four characters you can only get with the transfer pack. So go ahead. But yeah.
Yeah. I remember this vividly because I did that back in the day because I loved playing Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color. It was a fantastic game, as is the N64 game. And then transferring my character to the console version of it was fucking amazing in that regards. I did it with Pokemon. I did it with Mario Golf and stuff like that. But with those aside and stuff, the overall content in terms of the original Mario Golf stemmed from the tournaments and also stemmed from like the ring shots, the miniature golf stuff, which some of these features were not even prevalent inside last year's Mario Golf release. Some of it was kind of underwhelming in that regards, especially the single player mode. But in regards to this version of it, nothing has really been edited in that regards to like taking out like additional content or any of that sort and stuff. So you're pretty much getting the original release, bearing a couple of features. But I've spent a lot of my time going through and unlocking characters. And the best we can do that is to pick a character and try to beat them in regards to earning specific like amount of medals. I believe the maximum you can go for and earn is like maybe 10
Hmm.
medals, but that rarely does happen, especially during like the initial matches I've had. In this case and scenario, I think I've unlocked a close to amount of like maybe 4 or 5 different Nintendo characters right now, like in this game. But like I've unlocked Luigi, I've unlocked Wario. There's a couple of characters that are specifically for this game. One of them's named Sunny, and the other one is like Harry or something like that. You know, just like generic sort of names, but they are specific to Mario Golf for the N64. Like there's like 2 or 3 other characters that you could have beforehand, like even for like as default characters.
Hmm.
But as it stands right now, I'm facing off to try to beat Mario to unlock Mario as a playable character. But yeah, Mario is a pain in the ass, but it's not nearly as much of a pain in the ass as when you have to go forth and face Bowser. I haven't played against Bowser in terms of his AI to unlock him in years. Same thing goes with Metal Mario. And let me tell you something. It took me months to go ahead and beat Bowser's AI for the N64 because he is literally a piece of shit and will definitely take advantage of any type of little minuscule incorrect putts or incorrect hits that you may have and stuff, it is definitely that type of like gradual difficulty scale to where you face off against Luigi, and Luigi's like first thing. He's like, okay, he's a little bit easy, then it progressively starts getting more. The AI stops making the mistakes that it makes, like it misses putts or it misses like a shot or something, or something doesn't go right and this and that. Then the margin error kind of like decreases when you face finally against Mario, where Mario's hitting the ball like over halfway across the damn course near the hole, and he gets to the hole like about 2 shots or some shit, and then all of a sudden you have to try to battle him out in terms of the putts. But then you get to Bowser, and Bowser hits like almost a near 300-yard shot in regards to a fucking big old swing. And so you're seeing what could take about 2 shots for me regularly is being made by Bowser like in one shot.
Mm.
And not just one shot, but near the fucking hole, like within like about 15 to 20 feet from the hole. And that means to me that he'll automatically go forth and make certain shots within like two freaking strokes. And that's the thing, man. It's like, depending upon the hole, that'll either be like an eagle or it will be like a high score. And for you, if you don't do the same thing, you're going to be left behind fairly quick. That's something I'm not looking forward to, but I want to try to experience it again to see how how I can initially go forth and battle him now as I did back when I was like fucking like what 12, 13.
Mm.
I was a freaking teenager at the time. But yeah, you know what? Playing Mario Golf in its essence, in the way that it was, definitely feels like a better experience now playing it as an adult as I did back then. And also, it's a better experience to play now as opposed to playing Mario Golf Super Rush on Switch. Which, granted, you know what? That was one of the games I loved playing last year. It was fun for what it was, but there is definitely a quality change. There's definitely a quality dip when you try to go back to play the original Mario Golf. And if ever there was like a Toadstool tour that came back, like the GameCube release for that, I would really love to play that because I miss playing that. But it just comes to show you, man, the Nintendo Switch Online, I know it's been getting plenty of updates the past couple of weeks. Hell, this past week was like 3 Genesis games, classic ones: Shining Force 2, Sonic Spinball, Space Harrier 2. All of them classics. Can't wait to see what else comes out for N64 stuff, but I'm just enjoying the shit out of Mario Golf right now. And
Nice.
that's it.
Good. Glad I with that one. I didn't realize Miyazaki made Mario Golf 64
Wow.
before
I
he
didn't
made
either.
before Dark Souls. I'm kidding, obviously. I just mean because Bowser's really hard. Before Dark Souls though, they were like, Nintendo's like, we don't know how to do we don't know how to do Bowser, so Miyazaki, can you please make this? Like, sure can. All he does is hit hole in ones.
Yep.
Can we at least get a couple eagles in there? No, hole in ones only. I'm like, okay, well, and that's what we got here. So, but anyways, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week, guys. So, thank you guys for listening. You made it this far. We appreciate it. And then, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, click on, if I did it right, look in there, look down the show notes in there, click down, click on that link tree, and any of the places you go to, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever, we're on it. Like, follow, subscribe, give us a big 5 stars, share. Shares is probably the biggest, most important thing you can do for us. And if you're on YouTube watching us, please click the like button over there on Gable's junk. That'd make him very happy if you did so. But anyways, until next time, I'll show us how it's Tyler.
And this has been Curdle Gables. Until next time, everyone, play some fun games. And most importantly of all, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk-Nerds podcast.
And hey, Gables.
Yep.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, man.
Bye, guys.
See ya.